Tonight, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky leaves the NATO summit in Lithuania without an invitation to join NATO. Still, President Zelensky is calling the two-day summit a victory for his country and directly thanking the American people. And joining me now is Trayson Bragg. He's got a look at the summit. Hey there, Trayson.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, Zelensky's returns to his war-ravaged nation with the promise of more military and economic aid and assurances from NATO allies that his country will one day soon join their ranks.
President Biden capped the two-day NATO summit in Lithuania by emphasizing the military alliance's united front in rallying around Ukraine.
We are steeled for the struggle ahead. Our unity will not falter, I promise you.
During a meeting with the country's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, President Biden made clear that Ukraine's future lies in NATO. It's just unclear when.
It's going to happen. You're all moving in the right direction. I think it's just a matter of getting by the next few months.
Assurances that Zelensky considers a success following the first ever NATO-Ukraine Council, despite earlier expressing frustration over a lack of timeline.
At the end of the summit, we had, I think, this council and great success and security guarantees, as you said.
Ukraine walked away with a long-term security commitment from President Biden and allies, while the war-torn country waits for full NATO membership.
Ukraine is now closer to NATO than ever before. Allies reaffirmed that Ukraine will become a member of the alliance.
With Russia's war on Ukraine still underway, allies say now is not the time, since it would draw NATO countries into direct conflict. They also want Ukraine to meet certain conditions, including fighting corruption. President Biden now heads to NATO's newest member country, Finland, to meet with Nordic leaders.
Sweden's prime minister will be among the leaders in attendance at the Nordic summit. This comes as Turkey's president hinted that Sweden joining NATO could still take some time, saying a final decision rests with Parliament. Tom?
A story we're following closely, Trayson, thank you. And right now, water rescues and evacuations are underway in Vermont. This says nearly 75 million Americans will face a brutal heat wave with temps into the 90s over the next week. And Ivan Rodriguez has the latest on the severe weather taking over the nation.
More than 50 million Americans will face life-threatening triple-digit temperatures this week.
This heat wave that we're experiencing right now can be fatal.
Nearly 70% of the U.S. population, from California to Florida, expected to endure sweltering temperatures at or above 90 degrees with no break in sight.
We continue to set new record highs for heat-associated deaths. Heat is a really serious public health hazard. We don't talk about it as seriously as we should all across the United States.
Meanwhile,
no way, bro.
In Vermont, rescues and evacuations are underway in Lamoille County after catastrophic floods triggered by a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall have devastated parts of the state.
We are still in an absolute crisis. We still have many rivers that are in moderate to major flood stage.
But as floodwaters recede in some places and people begin a massive cleanup effort, the threat of new floods is emerging, with another round of rain forecast to fall on already hard-hit areas Thursday and Friday.
This may not be over. With rain in the forecast and nowhere for it to go, we could see waters rise again.
We have to continue to be vigilant and mindful that more flooding is a very real possibility.
This is going to be a years, if not a decade-long recovery for the state of Vermont.
Ivan Rodriguez, Now News.
Ivan, thank you. Meteorologist Michael Ottavino joins me now. So, Michael, what will we be seeing over the next week? And will there be any relief in sight for those scorching temps and severe storms?
Well, Tom, definitely no relief in sight for those hot temperatures. And we'll see the threat for more severe storms and even another flooding threat into portions of the Northeast. So let's talk about the why. Why are we seeing these very hot temperatures? We have this area of high pressure over the southwestern half of the United States. And this is going to continue. This ridge of high pressure continues to pretty much dominate the southwest, which will leave dangerous hot temperatures into the forecast the rest of this week. Into the weekend, into early next week. Dallas-Fort Worth today had their hottest day of the year at 105 degrees. Wasn't that hot since last year. So notice these heat alerts into effect for this week. Heat advisories, excessive heat warnings, dangerous heat. Feels like temperatures up to 118 degrees with no relief in sight. So we have the dangerous heat. We also have the threat for severe storms kind of following the jet stream pattern for into tonight. 67 million people at risk into portions of the Midwest, Kansas, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, the rest of Illinois, St. Louis in that mix for a level 3 of 5 risk for tonight. Damaging winds, potentially winds stronger than 75 miles per hour or greater, again, within this shaded area. Even for tonight, we could even see some strong tornadoes, 10% chance or greater of seeing an EF2 to an EF5 tornado, again, within that shaded area. So the severe weather continues for tonight. Let's take a look at that futurecast. Notice we'll see those strong to severe storms continue across portions of the Great Lakes into tonight. And then overnight, we could see some more into portions of Illinois as well as into portions of Missouri. And then for tomorrow, we'll see the threat for some more severe storms and then the flooding possible into the Northeast.
Yeah, the severe weather just keeps coming, Michael. Thank you. And next on now, a different kind of cool down for these hot summer months.
This isn't a much better place, but it's not yet to the promised land.
The new report that shows inflation is easing and what that means for interest rates. Next.